Deep in the heart of a murky swamp, there lived a girl named Emma. One day, while paddling around in her trusty canoe, she spotted something peculiar in the middle of the swamp. It was a tree, but it wasn't stuck in the mud like all the other trees. No, this one was floating above the ground, and not just floating, it was growing. Growing out of it were these weird, long, thin branches that looked like they were about to snap and send the tree floating off into the clouds. And what was even weirder was that the roots weren't touching anything. They were just floating in midair. But somehow this tree was alive and well, producing these strange, beautiful blue fruits that glowed with an otherworldly light. Emma, being the curious person that she was, couldn't resist. She paddled closer and reached out to touch one of the glowing fruits. As her fingers brushed against it, the tree suddenly whispered, its voice sounding like rustling leaves. "If you eat my fruit, I will grant you a wish." Startled by the talking tree, Emma quickly pulled her hand away. She wasn't sure if she had really heard that, if it was just her imagination playing tricks on her. But then the tree spoke again, its voice a little louder this time. "Find the anchor stone, or I'll float away forever." Confused, but determined to help the tree, Emma and her brother Mart set off to find this mysterious anchor stone. As they paddled deeper into the swamp, the air grew thick with buzzing insects and croaking frogs. Lily pads the size of dinner plates floated on the surface of the water, and dragonflies with shimmering wings zipped past their ears. Suddenly, the canoe hit something hard, and Mart nearly lost his balance. "What was that?" he cried, his eyes wide with surprise. Peering into the murky water, Emma saw something strange. A frog, but not just any frog. This one was wearing a tiny hat and carrying a briefcase. Startled by the sight, the little frog jumped out of the water and said, "Welcome to the Frog Board of Directors meeting. Please state your name and business." Mart, still a bit dazed from the sudden appearance of the talking frog, stammered, we just want to help the tree." The frog adjusted his briefcase and hopped onto the nearest lily pad. The tree that's floating away, that is indeed a pressing matter. To help you, I shall have to put you through a series of tests. Only then, if you pass, will I tell you where to find the anchor stone." And with that, the frog hopped away, disappearing into the dense foliage. Emma and Mart looked at each other. They had no choice but to agree. So they followed the frog through the swamp, solving his many puzzles along the way. They helped baby turtles cross a log, rescued a family of frogs from a hungry heron, and even learned how to speak frog, which turned out to be surprisingly useful. Finally, after what felt like hours, the frog led them to a large clearing. In the center stood a stone monolith covered in moss and vines. "Here it is," the frog croaked, "the anchor stone. Use it wisely." With the stone in hand, Mart carefully approached the tree. He placed the stone under the tree, and the tree seemed to sigh, its branches drooping slightly. Then, as if in slow motion, the tree began to descend, inch by inch, until its roots finally touched the ground. The glowing blue fruit fell from the branches and landed in Emma's outstretched hands. As the tree settled back to the earth, the glowing fruit in her hand pulsed with a soft light. Curiosity overcame her, and she took a bite. In an instant, she felt weightless. Looking down, she saw her body was surrounded by a bubble, just like the ones that floated in the swamp. And then she started to float. For what felt like hours, she soared above the swamp, laughing as she drifted on the gentle breeze. Finally, the sensation faded, and she landed back in the canoe with a gentle thud. "That was amazing," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement.